Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Karuna and today I'm going to show you how to prepare spicy masala bread. So let's take a look at the ingredients and let's get started. We'll need 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of chopped cilantro, 3 tablespoons of chopped green chilies, 7 tablespoons of sugar. The measurement that I'm using here is for every 1 cup of all-purpose flour, I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I've taken 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, so I'm using 7 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon red chili flakes, half tablespoon of chopped curry leaves, 1 cup of whole milk, 6 tablespoons of salted butter and 2.5 tablespoons of yeast. I'll just keep this milk, butter and yeast separately. Now using the stand mixer with a hook attachment, I'll mix all the dry ingredients. To the all-purpose flour, I'll add sugar, salt, red chili flakes, chopped curry leaves, green chilies and the chopped cilantro. Now I'll simply mix all these ingredients until they are combined well. Mixing these ingredients will take about 2 minutes. Once done, we can let this sit for some time until we get the liquid ready for preparing the dough. In order to prepare the dough, we have to get our buttermilk mixture ready. So here I have a small pan heating on a medium flame. To this I'll add in milk and the butter. I'll simply let this mixture boil for some time until the milk starts frothing. When the butter has completely melted and the milk starts frothing, we can just turn off the flame and let this cool for some time before we add in our yeast. In order to get the yeast activated, we have to let this buttermilk mixture cool until it's warmer than lukewarm but not overly warm. Or you can simply use a thermometer and add the yeast when the temperature is between 100 to 105 degree Fahrenheit. This buttermilk mixture is now at 180 degree Fahrenheit, so I'll let this cool until it comes down to 100 degree Fahrenheit. Anything above 130 will kill the yeast without activating. After about 10 minutes, this mixture is now exactly 105 degree Fahrenheit, so I'll go ahead and add the yeast. Once I add in the yeast, I'll let this mixture sit for about 10 more minutes so that the yeast will wake up from its deep sleep and do its magic. After about 10 minutes, looks like the yeast is activated and this buttermilk mixture is now ready to be used for preparing the dough. Now I'll add this entire buttermilk mixture into this bowl. Let's simply start mixing it again until it forms a firm soft dough. Even after adding the entire buttermilk mixture, if the dough is still crumbly, you can lightly add some water which is at room temperature. This might look milky, but I've just added water and I've stirred it in this bowl. When you're no longer required to add any more water to form the dough, just continue to knead this dough on a medium speed for about 5 to 6 minutes. After about 6 minutes, this dough is looking something like this. It's nice and soft and it also has got a nice shiny layer on the top. I'll drizzle some oil on the dough and I'll lightly toss it in the bowl so that it gets coated with the oil. Once the dough is coated in the oil, I'll simply cover it and place this in a warm place for about 2 hours. In the meanwhile, we can get our loaf pan ready for baking. I have these parchment papers which I've already cut to match the size of the loaf pan. I'll just grease this pan with some oil. And I'll simply place these parchment paper inside the pan. Once this is done, we can cut out the excess paper using a pair of scissors. After 2 hours, when the dough is fermented well, it would have become softer than what it was before. So I'll take this dough out. On a clean flat surface, I'll lightly sprinkle some flour and knead this dough again. Once I've kneaded this dough, I'll lightly stretch out this dough. If you want, you can even use rolling pin as well. I'll just prefer to do it with my hand. Once you have stretched the dough, all you have to do is simply roll this dough. After you roll, just pinch out the edges so that it forms something like a lock. Once you have the rolled dough ready, you can simply place it in the pan. Once you've put the rolled dough in the loaf pan, we have to let this sit in a warm place for about 2 more hours until the dough rises. When it's time to bake the bread, preheat the oven to 360 Fahrenheit. After about 2 hours, looks like the bread has risen and it's time to bake this bread now. Before I bake the bread, I'll rub this milk on top of the bread so that it gets a nice brown crust. Once the oven is preheated, place the loaf pan inside the oven. We have to bake this bread at 360 Fahrenheit for about 60 minutes. But every oven will be different, so make sure to check this bread after 45 minutes so that nothing gets burnt. After about 1 hour, this bread is completely baked and it's ready to be sliced and served. We can store this bread in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 days. We can either toast this bread or use it for preparing sandwiches. It will taste absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.